it's Kristen. It is Scraplift Crafternoon, and since it's still March and it's still 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, you'll see another video this morning. So this will be my second video today, and this layout is on Pinterest. So we're going to have a link to I'm so sorry, I can't, it's not going to click up here, but there'll be a link below that takes you to the Pinterest account of the person who created the layout, because she doesn't have any other social media, evidently. She's one of the smart ones. What we have, and I'm trying to get this up here close enough. There's a hexagon photo. Actually, there's double matted, so I need to do that. And then she's got, I think those are actually single pieces of paper. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it, maybe with like a border page or something. And it's kind of coming into the hexagon. Now, Miss Tara's already started doing this layout, and she gave us a tip. I got to make sure my triangles are equidistant. And then it looks like these might be little stamped hearts around the outside. And then, of course, a little border. And then there's these little gnomes. Now, I have picked, and a little bit of embellishment up here, too. I picked this picture because, and by the way, I do have these hexagon dies, so I'll be using those. I picked this picture because I was at the Scrapbook Expo this weekend. Sorry for the crinkles, but I want to show you this picture of the thing. And I picked up this really cute little package from a company named Keep It Simple. And it's got these little gnomes, and it's wintertime. And I got some little ephemeras and stuff like that. And look at that. How cute is this? Little fonts. So, I'm thinking I'm going to do a little layout. This is my mama and my daughter. It's in 2004, and we got snow, which happens pretty rarely here in Texas. So, they were out in the snow playing for just about 3 minutes, and then Brooke said she's too cold. So, that's about how long we stay out in the snow here. So, that's going to be my starting point. Let me get my... I think I'm going to need to get a piece of white cardstock, y'all, because I don't have anything to put it on that's going to be stampable or anything like that. So I need to get that out, and then I'm going to cut my photos, and I will be back on in a second. Okay, everybody, quick check-in. I grabbed my smooth cardstock, and I did pick up 2 little stamps out of my stamp sets over there. They're old Stampin' Up! Ones. They're 2001 on this guy. That's probably not too far off, to be honest with you. So these look kind of like little snowflake or snow to me. So, I mean, they're just little circles and dots, but it kind of looks snowy to me. And then this is a little snowflake, of course. And then I picked up Distress Oxide. I have Weathered Wood, which is kind of this grayish kind of color here. This is an old card, y'all. And then I got this Bordering Blue, which is an old Stampin' Up! Color. And that's kind of what this is. So I'm thinking those are going to look really pretty together. So I haven't cut anything yet, y'all. I just kind of want to show you those inks and stuff. So let me get to my cutting now, and then I'll be back on. All right, gang, another quick check-in because I just feel like it's important as it relates to the process. So I took my photos and I did my little hexagon things, and I've matted them together, which is fine. And then, as I said, Miss Tara said her son, well, she kind of commented us that she was making her triangles and she had the wrong ones or something, and she was like, you got to be equidistant. Okay, fine. So what I did is I measured 4 inches for the base, and then I went 4 inches up. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you that's technically not correct, because then all my sides are not 4 inches. It's 4 inches, and then I have like 4.5. However, even though I did that, and I realized I boo-booed, when I do kind of fit these together, I think it's still going to work. So, I'm not 100% sure this is exactly perfect right, but I'm going to end up, and I made myself a little template, because I wanted to see if it works. I had cut the first one, and then I traced it and cut this one. This is just template paper here. So now I think I'm ready to go ahead and cut the papers to make my hexagon thing here. So anyway, that's what I wanted to stop and tell you, because honestly, this can be a stumper, I think. I think this can be, I'll say that. Tara stumped it. I'm stumping it in a way. Without her help, I would have probably never figured this out, if I'm honest. So we'll see. All right, let me cut the papers now, since I've got my template and I've explained it. All right, come back on soon. Okay, gang, another quick check-in, and it's because layouts like this are deceptively simple. And what I mean by that is it looks like, oh, no big deal, just some triangles and this and that. And that's kind of true, and it's kind of not true, because as I mentioned, you got to make sure the triangles are the right size. Now, I have to be honest, I think mine were probably a little too small, because I do have a bigger gap in between, but I'm not going to worry about it, because I do have my stamping set still yet to do. But I wanted to point out my paper is directional, okay? And what I did originally is I used my little templates like I showed you guys, right? So I have these little templates. I used my washi tape, and I laid them down. I just traced around them with a pencil. But the first set I did, I kind of did up here, and I go, oh, okay, do. Well, if I'd done that, my little gnome would have been upside down, y'all. See that? He would have been just dangling upside down. I didn't want that. So I then had to go, oh, Christine, duh, it's directional paper. So I then had to make sure when I laid my templates down that the images were going to be going the right direction. And that's true even for these little houses, right? So when I laid it down, I had to make sure that I angled it in such a way that the houses were going to kind of face, you know, the right direction. Snowflakes weren't as big a deal, but those little paper, these ones mattered. So I wanted to kind of point that out. So now what I'm going to do, I did scuff the edges of these guys because I think she did as well. And it just looks nicer that way. So what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to make a little pencil mark so I know kind of how far out to go. And then I'm going to start stamping. Now, she just had little hearts kind of going around, so mine's a little more involved, I think, but that's okay. And then we'll start decorating. So I'm going to flip this over, I think, because I got little dirts on it. But that's where I wanted to make sure I commented about the directional paper. So I'll come back on in a second. Well, y'all, I'm pretty sure I have never made a video where I've done so many quick check-ins. Thank you guys for hanging in here this long if you have. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the little circle dot ones that look to me like the little snowflakes, and I'm intentionally starting in the middle with the initial ink. I'm doing the whole little, you know, double, triple stamp or whatever so that it fades on as I go out. And I'm doing that on purpose because I kind of want the snowflakes to kind of, I call them those snowflakes. They're little circles, but they're giving me the snowflake feel. I'm making those kind of fade as they go out. So now it's going to take me a second because I'm going to dry fit this thing yet again. I mean, even though I measured and stuff, I want to make sure that the little dots are coming out far enough for them to show. And I end up adding a few little bits. See right there, I realized, okay, you're not coming out far enough. But I do want it to fade off. So you're going to notice too in a minute, after I kind of dry fit this stuff and I add a few more little sprinkles of this stamp, I'll actually stamp onto that blue cardstock first just to get the first bit of ink off, and then give myself my little faded circles. So again, I'm just kind of dry fitting these things again, trying to figure out how far out I need to go with my little circle stamp. So here's where I do that. I'm going to kind of come out and give myself a little extra dots here. I end up expanding this layout bigger than I think the original. I come almost to the edges, y'all, because I just got to going with the embellishments and the title and all the thing, but I think it turned out really cute. So I'm sorry my phone's going off over here, but I'm going to ignore it for a minute. So now here's where I'm going to do my little circle snowflake thing. And I'm not really following rhyme or reason necessarily. I'm just making it a little bit random because I don't think she really had anything like this. But I like this. I think it kind of adds to it. So I'm just kind of adding this all over the place here. And I'm kind of I'm stamping between every one of these. I'm not doing the little double stamp thing. And that's going to be all the stamping I do. I don't think I do anything else in the way of stamping. I think I set these, I leave them out for a minute though, because I'm not 100%, but I don't do any more stamping. Okay, so I'm going to refit these back again, and in a second I'm going to actually cut away because you don't need to see me glue them down. All I'm going to do now is glue them down. I will put the center photo up on foam. I'm pretty sure looking at the picture that she has on the Pinterest that she actually did the same. And then I also went ahead and pulled out all my little ephemera pieces and font pieces and stuff. And I decided the title's going to be Snow Day. And inside the little package, there was the same letter would be like in multiple colors with multiple little bit different designs. So I intentionally like alternated and tried to make sure that I had different colors and stuff like that. Now, I have to be honest, my little gnome in the middle of my pie chart piece there, my little hexagon thing there, he caused me a little trouble because I started to come up higher with my title, but then he was getting his little face covered up, and I didn't want to do that. So I had to bring my title down a little bit. So I think she only has one word title anyway, but mine's coming down a little bit lower, which is why I kind of ended up with a little bit bigger embellishment clusters and just kind of expanding past the original design. Now, I do use glue dots on these. So this paper, I love these little designs. I actually bought 2 kits from this booth. I don't know that I'm sure they have an online shop. I really don't know. I've never seen them before. Actually, I bought 3 kits because there was 2 with these little gnome designs, but they are that shiny paper. So it's the thick stuff, but it's kind of shiny. And so certain types of adhesives just don't really like to stick to it. So I end up using glue dots on the letters, and I think it'll hold pretty good. That's actually pretty good. If I try to use liquid adhesive on the shiny stuff, it really won't stick. And now ATG will stick, but it's a little too big for this. So I end up using the glue dots. So anyway, I put my title down there. And here's this upper cluster. And again, mine's getting way bigger than she had on hers. Because I kind of like this house. And I don't know why, other than I guess because we're in front of the house. And I did like that tree because it's got snow. Then I come back down here and I got these 2 little gnomes. And she had 2 little gnomes, so I'm going to have 2 little gnomes. And I'm going to organize these. I think did I switch between a couple? I had a couple picked out, but I only ended up using 2 down there. Then there's this, let me see. Oh, yeah, that little floral wreath. So I'm going to put that up there. I kind of use that to ground that house and that tree. Oh, and I got that little bird too. Again, none of this has anything to do with the picture necessarily, except we are in the front of the house. You know, it's in the neighborhood. It's in the front of the house. And so in my head, I'm going, okay, well, this is kind of house related. And then I'm going to build out this cluster down here. So I'm going to put my little gnomes right there. I'm going to bring some snowflakes in a minute. Yeah, there we are. All this stuff I had pulled out of that little package over there. I'm going to bring in some little pointy snow. I got the round ones first. I'm going to put some little snowflakey, like the pointy ones over there in a second. I actually screw up one of my snowflakes, y'all. I pull out a little navy. You can see it sitting there. It's the little navy blue one. And I put a foam dot on it, but I put too big a foam dot. Or foam, it's not really a dot. It's like a foam square. And I put too big a one. I thought, well, that's okay. I'll just peel it off and put a different one. Nope, that just tore that all the heck up, y'all. It just tore it all up. So I end up pulling out the little light colored one that's over on the left side still right this moment. I end up pulling that one out. But I do put, so in the way of foam, I do put the second little gnome, the one that has, he's on the right-hand side. I put him on foam. I put my light-colored snowflake on foam that I'll end up pulling in there. I did put that house in the top. I'll put that up on foam. And that's it, I think. I don't think I put anything else up on foam. I did like having all the little dimensions. Here's where I'm trying to do that, I think, y'all, and I tear it up. Oh, well. You know what? Again, anything with scrapbooking, it's almost no problem. You can fix it. I just threw that away, y'all. It's just one snowflake. I got another one. So here's where I'm going to pull out the right size foam dot because that other one was just too big. And I'll put that on. Actually, this is Stampin' Up! Little foam adhesive things. And I'll put these 2 down with some liquid glue, those 2 little pointy star ones. Because I bought a new little glue at the expo, and it's called Berry Art, I think. And it has a very, very fine tip on it. And that was the main reason I got that. Because I do have the occasional little tiny pieces. I kind of like Nuvo glue as a liquid glue. But the tip of it's just a little bit bigger than this one. And I was thinking, okay, I can use this teeny little fine tip on these little teeny little fine pieces. All right, so I'm going to just start gluing stuff down. I don't make you sit there and watch me glue everything down. I have glued that top stuff down now. I didn't make you sit and watch, like I said. And then, y'all, I found this little phrase. The sketch had a little phrase on there, and it's something about love you or whatever. And I saw this in my little baggie. It said, I love you so much. And I was trying to use glue dots, and they weren't sticking and this, that. And then I looked, and I go, well, my God, Christine, that thing is self-adhesive anyway. Just pull the strip off the back. So you know what? That kept me from making a mistake, not having it stick. And then I realized my house, I had stuck a little square on there for it to stick, but I realized it went right on top of the tree trunk, and so it wasn't stuck to the layout. So I added one more little square up underneath there. And that's all I'm going to do in the way of adhesing all these little elements down. But then I decided I wanted to use little jewels, because little jewels to me always look kind of like icy, you know, and sparkly. And I like to use them on snow layouts because I do feel like it looks a little bit like ice and snow. So I got into this little bitty sheet here. This was an old Queen & Company. It was like a little thing you could get at a expo years ago, and I keep referencing that. But that's if I buy things in person anymore, that's typically where I'm getting them, is at some kind of expo or convention. There's not any local scrapbook stores really near me, so that's where I get stuff if I get it in person. And I just add a bunch of these little old jewels, and then that is all I'm going to do to the layout, y'all. And I think it's plenty because I've definitely expanded the scope of the original piece there. But I think this turned out real cute. This was fun to do, and I appreciate Tara finding it. And make sure you check out the playlist below. The ladies were playing along. There's usually, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us playing along, so make sure you check out those. And we will see you next Sunday for Scraplift Crafternoon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.